Hi, everyone. Doug Laney here. As co-chair of the 16th Annual MIT Chief Data Officer Symposium and Innovation Fellow with West Monroe, a premier sponsor of the event, I'd like to invite you to connect with my colleagues and me there. This year's hybrid event offers sessions for everyone from technical concepts like blockchain, data science, and data ops to more strategic topics like alternative data, data monetization, the emerging role of the Chief Data Officer, and even the data implications of ESG. I hope to see you in Cambridge this July.
Hello everyone, I would like to welcome both our in-person audience and virtual audience to track 4, Translating Data into Actionable Insights. I am Lakshmi Randall from Informatica. I'm a track producer and moderator for this session. Our session this hour is building a single customer view spanning 30 plus companies. Seems very complex thing to do. INtercorp is one of the largest corporation holdings in Peru, with over 30 plus business entities spanning so many industries like financial services, healthcare, retail, education, insurance, and more. So before 2019, they took on this major initiative to build a single customer view across these 30 plus companies, spanning 30 million plus customers. And they failed twice. Why do you think they failed? Anyone? What's the obvious reason? Third time is the charm. So they failed because of both cultural and technological reasons. So before I introduce the speaker, a few housekeeping details. This session is being recorded and it will be made available part of your symposium proceedings with your registration. Our virtual audience, please submit your Q&A using the Whova app Q&A tab. And in-person audience, please raise your hand and I will bring the microphone over to you. Our speakers are Ivan Herrero, Chief Data Officer for INtercorp, and Gustavo Yupanqui, Head of Data Strategy. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so much to the audience. My name is Ivan Herrero. I am the Chief Data Officer of INtercorp. I am from Spain, but I have been living in Latin America for almost 10 years now, first in Colombia, now in Peru. And I am here with Gustavo Yupanqui, who is our Corporate Customer Intelligence Manager. We are, first of all, we would like to thank the CDOIQ Symposium management team for giving us the opportunity to be here with you today, and share a little bit of what we have been working on during the last 3 years. First of all, we would like to give you a brief introduction of INtercorp. INtercorp is probably the largest Peruvian conglomerate with more than 8 billion in incomes annually. And our purpose is to make Peru the best place in Latin America to raise a family. And this is something that truly inspires us every day and in everything we do, because there's a big difference between wanting to make an impact and being able to make an impact. And in INtercorp, we know we can really make an impact to the society. Because we operate in so many different sectors, such as finance with a bank, an insurance company, and some other companies in that sector. In retail with different flavors, such as supermarkets, malls, home improvement, department stores, in healthcare with pharmacy chains, clinics, pharmaceutical distributor, education from all the way from schools, high schools, and universities, and all the kind of companies such as restaurants, hotels, theaters. So as you can see, we are very diverse in terms of the sectors we operate in, but at the same time, we are very focused geographically, and we operate mainly in Peru. But as you can also see, our footprint expands all over the country. There are more than 90,000 employees working in the different companies of INtercorp. And we all share the same purpose, and we are all committed to the well-being of Peruvian families by working hard to being able to offer them high-quality products and services at affordable prices. But as we share the same purpose of making Peru the best place in Latin America to raise a family, we were very limited because there were no initiative to ensure that we could better understand our customers as families, our persons, because there were no way to share data between these different companies. So to do so, the data office was created back in 2019. Here you can see a picture of myself with the two first team members. And since then, we have grown significantly into a very diverse and talented team, which I am very proud of leading. And here you can also see some indicators that we keep on tracking. And the one that I feel most proud of is the last one, which is that we have been able to keep our unwanted attrition rate as low as 0 during the last 3 years. And I am sure this is a result of all the efforts we put into building a strong culture from the very first day of the data office of collaboration and autonomy. And we like to dare with ambitious goals and then try to figure out together how to make those dreams come true. Let's talk a bit about the challenge we were facing 3 years ago. When I joined the group, I was tasked to build a unified data ecosystem which could bring value both for our customers and for our businesses. And if this doesn't sound hard enough for you, please let me give you a bit of context. Firstly, I was the first generation chief data officer of INtercorp. So this means there was no data office, not a higher level of data fluency in the group, and we had to start from scratch. The second thing that I think is important to know is that I was a complete outsider. I wasn't even living in Peru by the time I joined the group. I had to move from Colombia, where I was living. And this is important because I knew no one in Peru, so I had to start attending different meetings to understand who was who in the Peruvian data and analytics community, and try to meet with people, with the Peruvian people who will share the same vision that we had at INtercorp, so they were willing to join us and help us make our vision a reality. So that made things harder. And what Lakshmi said while introducing this talk, this is something that I didn't know when I joined INtercorp, but I came to know it soon on, was that this had been attempted twice before I joined INtercorp, and it failed twice. And of course, there are a lot of technical and legal barriers when someone tries to do something like this at this scale. But what I learned very soon of my tenure was that the political and cultural blockers were the ones to blame of those failures. So I had to be very careful on how to approach this challenge for the first time. We knew we had to, first of all, build a team, and that was a challenge in its own. But more important than building a team was to build trust among the main stakeholders of the group. And I like to think of 3 main decisions we made that I think were key to be now where we are today. The first one was to operate in stealth mode. After 2 unsuccessful attempts with not a high level of data fluency among the key stakeholders of the group, and being an outsider, I knew that my main goal at the beginning was to avoid organizational reaction. So minimizing the chances of being told not to do what we knew we had to do gave us the time to work in what we knew we had to do without needing to engage in hard political discussions. And that really helped us to stay focused on what we had to do. The second one was building trust. We needed to build trust across all the group, especially with the top leaders of the group. And just to give you an example of what we did, I met with more than 60 people in one-on-one meetings during my first 2 months in INtercorp. And that's added to all the meetings that I had with more than one people, with more than one person. And in those meetings, I never, ever talk about our goal of building a single customer view, because they didn't care. It was not a priority for our companies. What I did was ask them about their true priorities. What were their priorities, and who were the people in charge of those priorities? Because maybe we could meet and we could come up with innovative solutions by using data and analytics to accelerate the achievement of their strategic goals at their companies. And that was something that they really care of. So I was talking to them about their priorities and not about my priorities. And this really helped a lot, because I managed to build a lot of relationships very quickly across the group during the first 2 or 3 months. And the third one, which I also think it's important, I remember that when I started this journey, someone suggested to me that we should focus all our efforts and resources on just one company. So by the end of the year, we could have an example, a success case on how to transform a company by the use of data and analytics. But I remember I was reflecting on that advice, and I thought it was too risky to put all our efforts in just one company. What if the company that we chose didn't have the use of data and analytics as an actual priority? And what were the chances of such an inflated expectation to fail? So instead of following that advice, what we did was just the opposite. We tried to diversify our efforts and work with as many companies as possible in as many projects as possible. And this worked very well, because we had the chance to work with a lot of people across the group in things that were interesting for the companies. And we work with both people from the business areas and from the technical areas. So we strengthened our relationships. And guess what? While we were doing this, and people started to say that by using data and analytics, they can improve their outcomes, data champions started to arise across the group. So not only were we bringing value for our companies in some tactical ways yet, but we were also sparking a movement on the use of data and analytics across the group. And that was really, really important to have the traction that we needed to keep things moving forward. And how did we approach this challenge? That was from the cultural dimension of the challenge, but then, well, we also needed to build the single customer view. So with that, but we knew that if we wanted the single customer view to be sustainable in time, we needed to keep privacy in mind from the very first moment. And the second thing that we understood very soon in this journey was that we were going to need help from the different companies. We were needing to access the data, but also resources from the different companies to build this single customer view. We just couldn't do it on our own. And how we could ensure access to those resources to do something that was not a priority for our companies. So that was another challenge. Talking about the privacy, what we've done is that each company dissociates information at the company level using a process that we don't know and that we don't want to know. It's specific for each of our companies. Each of them decides how they anonymize or dissociate their information. And on top of that, we've built an automated process that probabilistically associates the same corporate ID to different companies' IDs, which are very likely to be linked to the same customer. So this enables us to perform cross-company analysis to better understand how our customers behave, how our customers interact with all our customers, with all our companies, but without risking their privacy, because everything we do on top of this information is made completely anonymously. And we've ensured that there is no technical way to know who is the person behind each of the corporate IDs that we operate on top of. And for the second side of this approach, we apply something that has proved to be very helpful for me, both in my personal life and in my professional career, which is giving before asking for something. So we try to find use cases in the different companies which could bring value for our companies. But we chose them very carefully. So they could be like a low-hanging fruit, but also that we will need to use transactional data to accomplish those use cases. So while we were executing those use cases, we were also modeling the data in a way that was easier for us than to. I thought I did something wrong. Progressively, we could gather all that data that was just modeled in the same way, and it was easier for us just to build this single customer view. So this worked very well for us also, and well, let's jump to some results. But before jumping to some numbers, let me tell you that when we started this journey, we knew that it was going to be similar to the INCA trail that you see here, which is the path that takes you to the ancient city of Machu Picchu, hiking. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew it was going to be long. But we also knew that it was definitely worth it. So we embarked on this journey back in 2019. And here you can see how the single customer view has evolved during the last 3 years along with our strategy from designing making the first functional designs on the beginning of 2019 to having the first MVP of the platform that enables us to manage all this data by the end of that year, to now where we have a true truly omnichannel single customer view of our customers, which spans all of our different retail companies, the bank, the insurance company, and we are on our way to including the information from the different education companies during this year. And I said that this is a truly omnichannel single customer view because not only it contains the transactions our customers perform through all the different channels, being it in person or in the different digital channels that we have, but also the click stream that we collect from all the different e-commerce platforms that we own. So we not only can understand what our customers buy, but also their behavior before they buy it, or even after they buy it, or even when they don't buy anything at all, but we can understand how that particular customer is interacting with our digital channels. And to give you some numbers about the information we have in the single customer view, 26.5 million customers as of today, connected to almost 2 billion transactions and 3 billion web events. So as you can see, this is a lot of data, but I guess some of you, and I hope many of you, must be wondering, so what? Yeah, that's a lot of data, but what are you doing with that data to bring value for your companies and for your customers? And I must say that this is a question that we keep asking ourselves each and every day. What are we doing with this data to bring value, to bring actual value, and how are we measuring the value that we're bringing, both for customers and for our companies? And this is the schema that we're working on to try to transform the transactional data into actual value. First of all, the transactional data is mainly time-based data. So we have to transform that data into attributes at the customer level to enable us to understand their behaviors and the changes in their behaviors, their life cycle, and their interest. So we've been working to build these kind of attributes at the customer level, inferred from their transactional behavior, and we've, as of today, built almost 5,000 attributes at this customer level. And once we have these customer level attributes, we can act upon them in 3 different ways to transform them into value. First of these three ways is to build insights. So we've hired a team of experts in analyzing data to extract some insights, and then we can share with our companies so they can act upon those insights and transform it into value. The second one is that we've built an attributes marketplace, which allows people from the different data science teams of our companies to access, look for the customer attributes that they find could be of interest to use in their different predictive models, request access to them, and use them to increase the accuracy of their predictive models. And the third one is using all this data to build digital audiences. So we've also designed and developed a platform which enables our marketing teams to set some criteria, and based on the customers that meet that criteria, then they build segments, and they can transform those segments into digital audiences, both in Facebook ads and Google ads, so they can better target these customers and try to ensure that their needs are linked to the messages that they want to tell them. And again, this is a lot of data, nice things that we're doing on top of the data, but show me the money. Well, we have some early results here that we want to share with all of you. And I have to tell you that we are just scratching the surface of the possible now. We're on our way. We've done some projects on top of this data, and these are some early results, but as you can see, they're very encouraging, as a 3.4 increase in the monthly lent amount by better understanding our customers, so we can offer them loans to people that were not didn't have access to loans because we didn't have enough information from them. A 9% increase in the effectiveness of some campaigns from our call centers, and a 5 times improvement in the effectiveness of some of our digital marketing campaigns. So these are just 3 examples of how we're using this single customer view to bring value for our customers and for our businesses. And these are, as I said, some early results, but very encouraging, and let us know that we are on the right track and that we were right to embark on this track back in 2019. And all of this couldn't have been possible without a sophisticated data management platform, which enabled us to know what kind of data we have and make this data accessible to both to our technical team in the data office and to other teams in the different companies of INtercorp. And Gustavo Yupanqui is leading the team that's built this data platform. So I would like him to give you some more detail of what we've built here.
Thanks, Ivan. Well, we knew that technology was very important in this journey. We knew that we had to create a platform that allows us to keep up with the effort of our business initiatives. At the same time, we had to assure that business initiatives could be complete. In short, we knew that this could not be possible sustainable without an advanced data management platform. Continuing with the analogy of Peru, this is Chanchan, an ancient city in Peru that served as inspiration for the creation of our data platform. You'll see it in a moment. All right. Now we'll see the last component of this schema. This is the data management component. And what's INCA, Peru? No, it sounds great. Sounds very related. And also, well, this is the name of our data platform. It means INtercorp Customer Analytics. In the beginning, we knew that we had to focus on delivering some value to our companies. We also needed a workflow, a framework to work that it can serve as basis to our guides and that led us to build this platform. INCA in the beginning started as being a repository for official data sources, trusted data, and also we needed to become a repository of terms of metadata, technical and business metadata. One of the first things we did was to create a data catalog. We can make advanced search like Google. We can find interesting information about our data assets. For example, in this interface, we can request access to a table. We can define which columns we need to access. We can define until when we need to access these columns. INCA automatically generates a custom data set for the users with an expiration date. In this way, we can govern the access to our tables. Security is another approach present in INCA. We have, for example, a mark that says if a table is public or private. It means that a table can be accessed from any network or can be accessed only from a company network. We also have a flag that we call sensitive. It says that if a column is sensitive or not, this mark allows INCA to make some actions related to the access and to the user. And by default, a column that is marked as sensitive will not be included in a user data set. It needs a special permission. Data dictionary is very useful when we want to find business metadata. For example, if we're talking about columns of a table, we can see business definition, short or long definitions. We can also know the transformation logic that is applied to this column. We have some mechanisms in INCA that allow us to to know if this metadata is up to date, and it serves a lot to data people in our companies. We can also create relations between a column in a table with a business term of our business glossary. This helps a lot because reinforced understanding of these concepts is very important. And we can also make data analysis impact when, for example, we want to draw a column, to draw a table, or to make a change in a dashboard also. We can also create relations, links between business terms of a business glossary. This is important because we need to know how these terms interact with, among them. For example, if we're talking about in the context of credit risk analysis, the business terms, days past due and credit risk score are related, obviously. And this relation can be seen in INCA. We can create these relations here. We were talking about an impact analysis. In INCA, we can have a business term and know how it's related to one or many columns in different tables. Also, how it's related to different dashboards in our, well, the vendors that we have in INtercorp, like Tableau, Power BI, or Data Studio. This helps a lot when you want to know if you want to make a change in an object and how it will be impacting in the business. INCA was designed in a kind of one-stop shop for every data asset. INCA is not only focused on tables and views. In this case, where we work with a Google BigQuery product. We also have another data assets. In this case, we're seeing the business terms, a business term screen. For example, we could know the person that is behind the definition of a business term. We can contact this person. We can deepen any query with this man. We can also manage other objects. There are objects like Tableau data sources. We use the same standard process and standard UX to accomplish our task in INCA. We can also manage Tableau workbooks, dashboards. As we said before, we could relate dashboards to business terms of our glossary. The same concepts are transferred to Data Studio reports and Power BI reports. For example, from this interface, we can also request access to a dashboard. It is very important. Behind there's a data operator who accepts or rejects this request. Business metadata is very important. We saw in this symposium in many presentations. In this case, we also have metadata for our dashboards. It's important to know what kind of information you find in a dashboard. And it's very well complemented with a dashboard preview. We can know how a report looks like as part of our business metadata. It complements the metadata that is in a text format. Data lineage from dashboards is also another component in INCA. We can know which objects are behind of a report. When I say objects, I mean data sources, data sets, tables, views, files, apps, different objects that are necessary to have our dashboards. Data quality approach is also present in INCA. We've created a data profiling functionality that led us to evaluate periodically the health of our tables and columns. We create some preset validations that are technical rules. We can apply these rules to columns in a table. The important thing here is that it's made in an easy way, and we don't need line, we need code line, any programming. This is embedded in the validation type. After we execute the data profiling, we get some results and statistics about the columns, about the validation types we did. But the important number that is marked here is the data quality score. It says a lot about the health of a table and helps a lot to our users who can or who would like to query this table. We also have a module that we name work environments. This module led us to create and manage resources or virtual machines that are used for developing analytical projects. Our users are usually data scientists or data scientists or machine learning engineers who have who needs an easy way to create resources, to create virtual machines with one click or some clicks, and without the complexity to join or to enter to some tools, to some consoles, to make some configuration that are sometimes very hard. Here is very easy. INCA uses approval workflows to perform some tasks. These requests are approved or rejected by business roles that were what we defined in the beginning. And this is important because we wanted to have a self-service data management platform where business and technical and business users can participate and collaborate in a single place. Yes. And well, till now I like to share two main ideas about the platform. The first one is that we think we are proud to have this wonderful data platform that allows us to concentrate on the important things, that is the generation of value with our single customer view. And the second one is that it helps to generate alignment between our technical and business users. When I mean technical, I mean data scientists, data engineers, business, we're talking about data owners, data stewards, etc. And this allows that our users can perform these common and complex tasks like tasks related to data governance, data management, data quality, generation of business insights, of virtual machines, configuration. This is made in an easy way with some clicks. Well, that's all with me for now. Ivan, continue with the presentation.
Thank you. Well, I would just like to add that we designed this data platform at the beginning just for us, but we also knew that our companies were going to need something like this in the future. They were not ready back in 2019, so we had time to start building this and keep on adding features like the ones that we've just shown. So now that our companies are getting a higher level of data maturity, now they understand why they need a data management platform like this, and they're increasingly asking us to use it. So this is also working well. And I would like to summarize what we've learned during this journey. The first thing is that it was very important for us to very carefully choose our battles. We were outsiders. There had been 2 unsuccessful attempts before we tried to do this. So we needed to be sure that we engage in as many as less hard discussions as possible, and if possible, try to avoid to engage in any of them. The second one was that it is important for us as data leaders to make change as easy as possible. Everyone in the organizations are working hard to achieve their business goals. So any additional effort that is asked to them is very likely to be rejected if it's not linked to some kind of short-term result. So if we want our business counterparts to change their behaviors, to adopt anything that is completely new for them as the use of data or analytics, we have to make it as easy as possible for them to adapt. And don't ask too much for them. Just make it the change progressively, because if not, if we try to make a change so deep, we could end up with no change at all. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The third learning is that we need to be humble. We offer help and we were helped. And it is important to understand that as data people, we need our business counterparts' favor much more than they need ours. So we have to keep as humble as possible and approach them by offering our help instead of asking them to change what they're doing or to say that they should be doing things in a different way. And the last one is that it is very important as data leaders to master the business language. It is very easy for us as data leaders to feed our egos talking about MLOps, data ops, data governance, data management, but our business counterparts don't care at all about all of that stuff. So they speak about money, and we have to speak about money too. If we want to be listened to, if we want to be approached in a way that we can collaborate with each other and bring actual value for the business, which is the ultimate reason that we're in the company. So with these 4 lessons, we are ending this talk. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention, and we are more than glad to answer your questions.
Yeah. Questions? Okay. I'll start with you. Okay. Go ahead.
Ivan, you mentioned a 5x increase in your digital marketing campaigns. Were you able to share marketing campaign attributes across the company, and if so, how beneficial was that?
Well, the way in which we use the attributes at the customer level is not by sharing that data directly to each company, but they have to use it via this platform. So in this way, we can ensure that we keep the privacy of our customers safe. But yeah, in fact, they are using, in this case, is the result of some campaigns that we did in the insurance company using data from other companies of the group. So yes, all of these examples are results of how we're using data from some of our companies to bring value in use cases of other companies. So we also have use cases of how we've brought value from each company using their own data. But all of that we've shown today are use cases of how we're leveraging the single customer view to bring value with cross-data use cases.
Did the business owners see value in that from the start, or did you have to convince them, coerce them that there's value in having that cross-fertilization?
That's a very good question. In fact, I found myself several times saying that this is what I think we should be doing, and being answered, well, I don't think that's what we should be doing. That's something that our company should be doing, or are you sure that that's the thing that we need? But I am so glad that my boss, the person I report to, who is the CEO of the group, has trusted me from the very first moment. So, and he has bring me the confidence and the support to do what we thought we needed to do. And time has proved that we were on the right track. So now we are more trusted. And anytime I say that I think this is we should start investing some time in doing this, we normally are given the time and the resources to do that. Yeah. But it didn't happen like for the beginning. Some of these things we have to build them in stealth mode again, and then show it to our companies. Okay, let's try this. Of course, we try to engage some people from our companies during the design process. So we are sure this is gonna meet their needs, but it's not something that we say very openly that, okay, we're gonna work in this project for the next year or I don't know, months. It's like we try to be upfront of the need. So try to build something that we know very likely they're gonna ask for us in some months or in some years. Thank you.
So 2 questions. When organizations build a single customer view, they often then begin to move toward measuring their success in a couple of ways. One of those measures is share of wallet. How much of a particular customer's spend that we could get are we getting? And another typical measure is in terms of cross-sell and upsell opportunities and success. Has INtercorp begun to measure itself against those kinds of performance outcomes yet? And if so, can you share them with us?
Yes, that's something that we need to keep on improving, because these are, as you probably seen in the journey that we've shown, we ended having the single customer view with the retail companies and the financial companies by the end of last year, and including the clickstream of the different e-commerce platforms. So we are just starting to try to bring value on top of this single customer view, but we have to work in calculating customer lifetime value. This is something that we don't have yet, because it is not calculated at the company level, and there are some complexities in doing so, because, for example, in retail, it is not as easy as saying, okay, I can take what each customer has paid and take the cost of the product off, because there are some billings, I think it's the current billings that some payments that providers make based on the total amount of sales of a specific brand or a specific category. So we have to figure out how to take that money that our companies are receiving, for example, from Samsung or brands like that, and how we should put that money into consideration to when we build the single customer view. And what we've seen with our companies, it is not something as easy, but it's something that we definitely have to do.
Thanks. So question just on the technology stack that you guys have behind this. I may have come a bit late here, but it seems like everything from the collector framework for the clickstream data down through the data governance pipeline is all homegrown. Yep. Are there any sort of enterprise tech that you've built on top of this, or is it, if it is homegrown, is sort of maintenance and management and development, was that a key consideration for your team?
Yeah. Very good question. First of all, yeah, all of the information that we're moving to the cloud, we're doing that on top of BigQuery. We're using BigQuery as our main data warehouse in the cloud. And we use data catalog to extract some technical metadata, and we have also designed and developed schemas that we use to store business metadata for the tables and views that we have in BigQuery. But as you have seen, we not only manage tables and views through this environment, we also use it to govern other kind of data assets. And we've developed the different components, and this is again something that's been built in by our own. And the reason, there are several reasons. The first one is that we felt that we needed something specific for us to govern the single customer view. But then this it had a secondary goal, which is I knew it was going to be hard enough to convince our companies that they needed to improve their skills and their capabilities in data management. And the best way to convince a company that they have to improve their capabilities in data management is not by telling them they have to spend several $100,000 a year to being able to do so. And I wouldn't have the resources at the Center of Excellence at the data office to pay for all of them to have access to some of the big players in the market. So we decided to build it on our own progressively, so we could make the barriers of adopting it as low as possible. So that was the reason.
A follow-up to that, how many team members are helping to build this custom solution in the organization?
Well, not many.
Well, yes, the team has grown up in the time. We have 5 developers,
Okay.
focused only in coding and programming. And also in the team we have like product owners of the different modes that you see. Product owners for our marketplace, or attribute marketplace, or one for data platform capabilities, or for data quality. But it's a mix of background, technical background of our staff. We have a great team. every needs of our companies is I think is well received, is well thought, is well designed, and obviously this is well implemented in our platform.
Can we ask which data catalog do you use?
It's homemade. Yeah.
So Ivan, question for you. You mentioned that it's important to speak the business language, right, for data team members. How are you enabling this? Are you hiring folks that speak business language, or you're training folks on your team to speak business language? Because it's a major challenge for many companies, right?
Yeah. First thing we had to do is to we as data leaders be able to talk to our business counterparts in their language, and it was really helpful for me that I had experience in Deloitte in Spain, and I worked in the department that before joining the firm we had to go through a like accountability course. So I can easily talk to the CFOs of the different companies in kind of their language, and I had experience in consulting also. So this gave me the background that we needed to be able to engage with our business leaders in a better way. And then in my job, I had to ensure that my team is always focused on how we bring value and how we can better understand the truly needs of our businesses. And we found by the end of 2019, we tried to, while we were building the team, we tried to do like 4 or 5 different projects, and none of them made it to production. and we understood by the end of the year that it was our fault. I remember a conversation when we were thinking, well, all the business counterparts are like, they don't understand the use of data. This is not gonna work, but it's their fault. We had like this moment of truth when we said, it is not possible that every business people we work with is wrong. So the answer is that we are the ones that are wrong here. So we decided to there was something that we were lacking on the team, and we hired who was the first senior data translator for the team. So what we were lacking were the capabilities on the data scientists to understand the processes. So even if I helped them frame the opportunity, then they went to talk to the business people. They requested access to the data. They built their predictive model. The predictive model was okay from the statistic point of view, but then there was no way to put it into production. And many times not due to a technical complexity, but because it was not focused on the right point of the process. Or the business user was not willing to change their behavior because the KPIs that were linked to their bonus were against the way in which we thought we should change the process. So if the data what we thought would be needed to use the predictive model as we built it, they were gonna bring value for the business, but they were going to miss their KPIs. So as soon as we started to understand that complexity, and we started to bring people to the team, not with technical backgrounds, but with business backgrounds, and put them as the responsibles of the end-to-end of everything we do. They're like kind of managing every project that we do. So from the beginning, from understanding the business, setting up the opportunity, and figuring out if everything that all the team is doing is tightly linked to bringing value and is able to be put into production. So during 2020, we engaged in more than 50 projects, and almost all of them made it to production. That's the change. It's like a complete change when you start.
You're building the data culture. That's an excellent way to
And
augment.
it begins with us, but then you have to also enable business people to speak a bit of data language. So try to understand the complexities and some terms.
Ivan, great job on 29 million customers, billions of transactions. In Peru, there are many companies at this conference over the last 3 days who are hoping to get where you guys are.
Thank you.
So tell us where you're going and where you're taking it.
That's a great answer because, in fact, I feel when I'm sharing what we have been doing during these last 3 years, it seems like we've made a lot of progress, but I still feel that we are on the beginning of the true journey. So now that we have all this data, how are we going to use it to a maximum chance of bringing value for our businesses, but also for Peruvian families, so we can contribute to our purpose of making Peru the best place in Latin America to raise a family. So we have a lot to do. Starting from the data itself, and we are trying to partner with different academic institutions here in the United States so they can help us envision the different use cases that we can do on top of this very rich single customer view. But we don't have enough hands to do everything that we could do on top of this. And we are humble. We don't even have probably enough the knowledge, the deep knowledge that we have to explore and to transform this data into its actual value, its actual potential value. So that's some of the initiatives that we are working on, and keep on interacting with the different companies of the group so they can increasingly adopt what we've built and they use it to bring value, because this is part of a cultural challenge. When you're not used to using audiences for digital marketing campaigns, it is a complete shift of behavior to start using audiences. And some audiences might perform well, but some others might perform worse than the ones you have. So we are in this very experimental mode of prove things with thinking that they might fail, but it's a process of learning. So we have to work together to learn how to transform this data into value, because we are sure there's a lot of value in this data, but we have to understand it. We have to learn together with our business counterparts how to do it. This is where we are now.
Okay, thank you very much. Great presentation. I would like to thank the audience for attending this session. A round of applause for our speakers, Ivan and Gustavo.
Thank you.